Number 39. Mr. Fields gave 3 apples to his children to share equally. Each child ate 1/2 of an apple, and all of the apples were eaten. How many children does Mr. Fields have? Initially, I'm noting that I was given the number 3 in the problem because there were 3 apples. And so Mr. Fields gave those 3 apples to his children, and each child ate 1/2. 3 divided by 1/2. Now I know I can't divide fractions with a whole number, so I put it over a 1 to make it a fraction. To follow our rule of keep, change, flip, I keep my first fraction, 3/1, change my division sign to the reciprocal, which is the inverse operation, multiplication, and flip the second fraction, 2/1. Well, anything over 1 is equal to itself, so I can multiply the denominators and see that it's still going to be 1. And multiply my numerators, and I get 6. 6/1 is equal to 6. Number 40. Karen is going to buy a hairdryer for $24.85, a bottle of shampoo for $7.15, and a curling iron for $32.29. The value of which expression is closest to the total of the 3 items in dollars? Number 41. The model below represents a wooden box that Miss Mendoza is going to pack with clothes. The volume of the box is 45 cubic feet. Which expression represents the area of its base? Okay, we are given the volume here, and because at this point we really are versed in the fact that volume equals length times width times, I can't find out, height. Sorry. And I was given the volume, so I was given that 45 equals the length times the width times the height. So I'm going to put length times width times 3. That's really kind of messy. I don't really have enough room here. You'll be working it on a sheet of paper, so you'll have plenty of room. So 3 times what give me 45? Well, knowing that this is a rectangular prism, this is 3, this is 3, I'm going to refer to my answer choices. A, 1 times 5, if I were to replace my length and width with 1 times 5 and then times 3, that would only give me 15 total as my volume. G, if I replace length times width times height, 3 times 5 is 15. 15 times 3 is 45. The volume is indeed 45. H, 5 times 9 is already 45. So that doesn't leave me any room to multiply times my height. And J is entirely too large. So process of elimination left me with G. Okay, 42. The dot plot shows the amount of water that 15 students drank from a fountain at recess. Each dot represents one student. In pints, the 2 students that drank the least amount of water drank how much water combined? Well, you know the process and how to do this, but we haven't had our big lesson on dot plots. So, when I look at this, I'm seeing the 2 students that drank the least amount of water would be 1/8 and 1/4. So, if I want to combine those two, I need to add them. 1/8 plus 1/4. Well, I am noticing that they have unlike denominators. So I would need to find the least common multiple and of those two denominators, and it is 8. So I'm going to put 1/8 plus. To get fourth to become eighths, I would need to multiply 1/4 times 2. What I do down below, I got to do up top. My new fraction is 2/8. So when I combine them, that is 3/8. Because we do not add our denominators, we only add our numerators. Number 43. 18 students in a science class will build one large bridge out of toothpicks. Each student will use 12 dozen toothpicks and 4 ounces of glue to build it. If all of the toothpicks are used, the bridge will be composed of what number of toothpicks? Number 44. Hector, Lisa, and Kendra harvested oranges over a 4-week period. They recorded the number of pounds they harvested in the tables shown below. In which week did Kendra harvest more pounds of oranges than Hector? Number 45. A dime is 1 35/100 millimeters thick. If 7 dimes are arranged in a stack, what is the total thickness? Number 46. A bean sprout in Kara's garden is 3 2/10 centimeters high. How many more millimeters must it grow to reach a height of 4 centimeters? Well, we haven't gotten into our measurement unit, so I want to do a brief explanation of this. Looking at our pink mathematics chart, I would be able to look at it and see that there are 10 millimeters equal to 1 centimeter. I always imagine a centimeter to have a thickness of about a dime. A bean sprout in Kara's garden is 3.2 centimeters high. So since they want to know how many millimeters it must grow, they gave it to me in centimeters. I'm probably going to want to convert that. And since I'm going from a larger to a smaller unit by going from centimeters to millimeters, I'm going to multiply. I have a pretty cool conversion that anytime you're going from a larger to a smaller unit, you multiply. Going from smaller to larger, you divide. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by the amount equal to 1 centimeter. So 3.2 times 10. Well, whenever we learned about multiplying by tens and hundreds, that's just moving that decimal out one place. So that's equal to 32. Okay, but it says how many more millimeters must it grow to reach a height of 4 centimeters? Well, 4 centimeters, 4 times 10 would be 40. So I need to take my 40, subtract 32 to find the difference. What did you get? Number 47. Warren has $8.25 in pennies. He will split the pennies equally among 3 jars and then give 1 jar of pennies to his brother. How much money in pennies will Warren have then? Number 48. John measured the mass of a sheet of notebook paper and found it to be 4.5 grams, or 4 5/10. He drew on the paper with an ink pen, then measured the mass again. He found that the mass increased by 59 hundredths of a gram. In grams, what was the combined mass of the paper and ink? Number 49. Samson drew two quadrilaterals and points J and K on the coordinate grid below. What are the coordinates of the point inside the parallelogram? Well, I have two different figures. I have a trapezoid here. I have a parallelogram here. So what are the coordinates of the point inside the parallelogram? I always start at the origin, go over on my x-axis, so my x is 4. I go up, point J landed on 3. So that would be x4, y3. Number 50. The stem and leaf plot shows the number of minutes that 15 students were in the library this morning. Each time is rounded to the nearest 5/10 minute. The students that were in the library for more than 10 minutes checked out 3 books each. How many books did these students check out all together? So it asks the students that were in the library for more than 10 minutes. So I don't care about the 10-minute mark. I care about everything greater. So all of this can kind of just be put out of my mind. So for each student that did check out for over 10 minutes, they checked out 3 books each. And since we're wanting to know how many books they checked out altogether, I would consider this to be 3 books. Consider this to be 3 books. 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. H.